Lifetime value is the amount of potential business a customer can provide, and directly and indirectly. Nadja in insurance. Nadja, your business is based on relationships. You start maybe with a small contract and you build. The families grow. They need more child insurance. Maybe they need more retirement later on. But it's a constant growth pattern. If the salesperson who sells insurance is just going in to sell that one policy, like some of them do, they're not really achieving anything that's of value for the customer, for the prospect. So it's important that we look at what the prospect needs. And how do we do that? First, we have a partnership view. We establish the rapport. And that's the essential part of a relationship, is establishing rapport. We get to know that person. How many of you go into a room when you see somebody on a face-to-face presentation and look around the room to see what really excites that person you're about to sell? Anybody? Do you really identify what the person likes? Do you ask him questions about, take a look at the picture and see that, maybe he has horses or plays tennis, and you can then relate to him and talk to him on his term. He likes to go fishing. This is the rapport you need to build. It's not a case of going in there and saying, here's my bag of tricks, now come buy from me. It's a case of saying, let's get to be friends a little bit before I even want to sell you anything. Maybe what I have is not right for you. Maybe it's right for a friend of yours, or maybe you'll recommend somebody in the future. But my objective today, because we're sitting down, is to be able to become friendly and build that relationship together. And that's really what it's all about. And that leads to the long-time value. Get rid of the preconceived notions that we're always out every day to close deals. That will happen if you do it correctly. If your goal today is just to go out there and hit those numbers, then you're going to fail. You might have short-lived success, but you're going to fail in the big picture. Because the big picture is achieving long-term goals with long-term strategies, not short-term solutions. Short-term solutions are short-lived. Some of us have already been in positions where we've been successful, and we've been patted on the back and maybe even promoted, and then it falls apart. And it falls apart because you're a one-time hero, a one-hit hero, and you really haven't established the foundation of being strong and developing a relationship with your owners or the people you're working with. And so it's a short-lived, and you lose that grasp, and you lose your position. You find yourself changing jobs, being terminated from work, or just not achieving the goals that you set out to say. And you say, why am I not hitting the goals? You're off track. You have to stay back on track and stay the course. The stay the course is meet the people, and only meet the people to find out more about them. The term what's in it for me is going to come up many times today. It's not what's in it for us. It's what's in it for the prospect. It's what's in it for the customer. It's all about the customer. Ask questions. The key to success in selling is qualifying the customer, finding out if the customer has a need for your product, delivering the solutions to what those needs are. And you don't find that out unless you ask questions. Now, there are two types of ways you're going to ask questions. There's an open-ended question, and there's a closed-ended question. I'll give you an example of an open-ended question. Rob got accepted to the University of Notre Dame on a football scholarship. Jason, how do you answer that? How do you respond to that? My son just got accepted to the University of Notre Dame on a football scholarship.
Congratulations, go Irish.
Okay, short, that's a closed-end question or response. Now, how would you answer it, Vincenzo?
What a wonderful thing. How did you get him to do that? Or
See, what you asked was an open-ended question that promotes me to respond, and we're building rapport. We're building a relationship. Instead of just asking, great, congratulations, which is closed-end, and we're moving on, we say, what do you attribute that to? He must have really worked hard to achieve that. What did he really do to get to that level? And that's what you need to do with the prospects. You need to ask them continuously what they did to achieve their goals. And I love somebody who has the plaques on the wall, because they make it easy for you. You know, when they say, Salesman of the Year, Presidential Club, because you want to say, hey, that's fantastic. How did you do that? What brought you to that level? What can you attribute that success? They want to talk about themselves. And when you ask them to talk about themselves, all of a sudden they become buddies with you. And they start to freely give you information that would be difficult for you to achieve if you were just knocking them down question for question and qualifying for a sales process. So you want to get involved in building that relationship. You want to be accepting the information. You want to be listening carefully. In the buying cycle, buyers tell you when they want to buy, and they tell you what they want to buy. But we as salespeople are so much trying to push our product and talk above the buying signals that we don't hear it. So you must be in a position where you're listening carefully. They will make your job very, very easy. Because if they're looking to buy, they're going to give you two choices. They're going to object to it, which is a buying signal, or they're going to tell you they can't afford it, which is an obstacle. And then you walk away from it. How many times have we been involved working with customers that we work and we spend lots of time and lots of time and lots of time, and they say to us, I don't have any money. And that's a problem. Because if we don't qualify and listen to what they're telling us, we go through the motion of thinking that we have an opportunity in front of us. And we waste their time, and more than that, we waste our time, when we could be focusing on potential prospects that do have a need for our services. Ensure an understanding and share ideas. Make them understand, you go fishing, I go fishing, what kind of bait do you use? What kind of boat do you go fishing on? You race horses? Fantastic. I don't know much about that. Can you explain something to me? You don't have to know everything about it, but what you can do is you can be concerned and interested, because people want to be interested. Everybody who's been dating, got married, not the divorce side, that's afterwards, there's an interest that we've created with our significant others at some point. Most of the time we lose that, and then we deal with the complete boredom, but that's a story we'll talk at another time. That's a different issue.